We also have Mr. Chinga Mewutu, Kalabo Central Member of Parliament, posing a question to the Minister of Agriculture. Joe, other members that have posed a question to the Minister of Agriculture, we do have Mr. Mapani Namwala, Member of Parliament, and we should also make mention that Mr. Andrew Taengwa has got two questions directing to the Minister of Agriculture. He wants to find out what measures the government is taking to ensure that citizens countrywide fully utilize a sustainable agriculture financing facility loan, and the other one is question 400. Joe, the detail of that question.
Yes, question 400 is coming from Mr. Andrew Taengwa, Kawata Member of Parliament. He is asking the Minister of Agriculture how many farmers benefited from the Farmer Input Support Program during the 2024 to 2025 farming season, whether the number of beneficiaries at A will be increased in the 2025-2026 farming season, and if so, what level, and if the number won't be increased, why?
We now cross over to the floor of the House for the resumption of business. Remember, at the time business was suspended, the House was considering group question for oral answer. Understanding 83. Well, thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television. The bells are ringing, which means that there is no quorum on the floor of the House. It is a requirement, according to the standing orders, that 1/3 of the total number of members of Parliament be on the floor of the House for any business to be considered. So let's quickly look at the two reports that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House. Joe, the first one comes from Mwandi Member of Parliament, Ms. Sebeso Sefulo, Chairperson of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters. This report urges the House to adopt the report of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the International Customs Convention on temporary admission for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly. The document was laid on the table of the House on 31st July 2025, and this motion will be seconded by the Vice Chairperson of the Committee, Mr. Joao Chibuye.
And of course, Mr. Mishek Nyambose, Chasef Member of Parliament, will move a motion. In moving this motion, Mr. Nyambose will be urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts, on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, which was laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025.
And this motion will be seconded by the Vice Chairperson of the Committee, and this is Mr. Christopher Shakafuswe, who is also a Mandevu Member of Parliament. So those are the two reports that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House. As you can remember yesterday, if you missed it, the House, should I say the standing order number 27.2 of the National Assembly of Zambia 2024 was suspended to enable the House to sit until business on the order paper is completed today, Friday, 1st August 2025, and thereafter adjourned CNDA. So we expect business to be concluded on the order paper today. So shortly, once the House, or should I say the quorum is returned, we'll be able to cross over to the floor of the House for the resumption of business. It's also good to remind you that at the time business was suspended, the House was considering grouped questions for oral answer under Standing Order 83, and the Minister of Agriculture has just concluded responding to the follow-up question that was posed by Mbabala Member of Parliament, Mr. Joseph Munsanje. So the House will continue considering the grouped questions for oral answer. Joe.
Yes, indeed. So we urge you to stay tuned to Parliament TV, Just TV channel 272, Go TV channel 28, Top Star channel 5, and you can also follow the proceedings on Parliament Radio and the 2.5 FM in Lusaka and the surrounding areas. Our Facebook page, National Assembly of Zambia.
So the bells are still ringing, which means that we still have no quorum on the floor of the House. According to the numbers, 1/3 of the total number of members of Parliament are supposed to be present on the floor of the House. We still have about 4 more members to be in the chamber. That's when the quorum will be attained and business is expected to resume then. So remember, we do have questions for oral answer, understanding order 82, and also have grouped questions for oral answer, understanding 83. And those questions are directed to the Minister of Agriculture, and we do have a number of members of Parliament that posed these questions. We have Mr. Chingamyutu Kalabo Central Member of Parliament, Mr. Andrew Taengwa Kabwata Member of Parliament. He has 2 questions, and we do have Mr. Mapani Namwala Member of Parliament, and Mbabala Member of Parliament, Mr. Joseph Munsanje as well. For now, we cross over to the floor of the House. We now have a quorum. Good morning.
Order. When business was suspended, the House was considering questions number 399, 400, 401, 402, and 403 as grouped questions on the order paper, asked by the honorable members for Kalabo Central, Kabwata, Mbabala, and Namwala. And the Honorable Minister of Agriculture had just finished responding to a supplementary question asked by the Honorable Member from Mbabala. Any supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Dundumwezi.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to ask a follow-up question. Honorable Minister, I am a farmer, and I want to tell you that for many years, we have been struggling to see how we can thrive in the agriculture sector. I want to confirm to you that you are on a very, very good trajectory. Us who are actually farmers, not those who read books, but us who are practically farming, you are doing a very, very good job. And it's clear that for the first time after independence, this is when we are hitting the highest in terms of yield. Yes. What else would Zambians require? Yeah. It's the kind of leadership that we are providing in that sector. Yeah. However, I'm at pain, Honorable Minister, to see how the Minister of Agriculture would take a leaf from the Minister of Energy. Minister of Energy, Honorable Minister, used to have different pump prices depending the distance where you are. But time came where we got a uniform price despite where you are. How do you intend, Honorable Minister, to protect your farmers with this transformation from where we were to the e-voucher, where the agro dealers are at liberty to put the price of fertilizer at any price, hence reducing the potential of production for your farmers? How do you intend to assist your farmers? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Singombe of Dundumwezi raises a very, very fundamental economic question. I would encourage Honorable Singombe, Honorable Speaker, through you, to come so that we sit and talk about this. Let me give a practical example. Let's take Chama, because Dundumwezi is very near. Let's take Chama. The fertilizer in Chama will cost slightly more than the fertilizer in Lusaka, but marginally within the acceptable band. If we had to go by what Honorable Singombe is saying, it would mean that effectively the price of maize in Chama should be higher, so that it compensates the price, the higher price, reasonably higher price of fertilizer in Chama. But we have standardized the price of maize, at least with the Food Reserve Agency, but not so with the private sector. Now, it might look like a contradiction, but, Honorable Speaker, the difference in pricing is exceptionally marginal. Very, very marginal. If we allowed it to be economically different, certain areas would not be growing maize. Certain areas would literally not be growing crop. They would just have to stop and do other things. So, whilst the question might appear like the government is not paying attention, Honorable Speaker, we talk so much to the agro dealers to give us reasonable prices which will allow production in those areas. So we do, Honorable Singombe, we talk to the agro dealers. We have a price band which is acceptable so that farming can be in all areas. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Honourable Member for Shuangandu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Honourable Minister, I know you are throwing a challenge for us, your colleagues, to be involved in these aspects of agro-dealing and whatnot. But I would rather you ask us to help you monitor and ensure that those who are given the task are doing the correct thing. Because if we get involved ourselves, it becomes difficult to offer oversight. And then the program become politicized, whether we like it or not. The moment we step in as honorable members, the programs become politicized. Now, my question is that you gave us statistics of those who managed to benefit from the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility, SAF, and you gave figures as 8,000. If you look at the number of farmers, Honorable Minister, you and I know that the Farmer Input Support Program, which you have stated will remain with 1 million farmers still, has been quite helpful in keeping this country food secure. And all the reports, including the IMF reports, point to this fact. Wouldn't it be ideal that as you are trying, because you have to assess the impact this stuff is going to have on our farmers, because the rate at which it is going, being privately driven, might not meet the desired results as you aspire to achieve, looking at the number of farmers. Wouldn't it be also ideal that we consider, because the government responsibility is to intervene in this very important sector of agriculture, to also increase the number marginally of those that are on FISIP program, as you are also addressing that issue that Honorable Singombe raised, because people are commercial who make sure that they look at the profit markups in terms of selling the inputs. Would it be ideal that we move with all the programs by ensuring that no farmer, we cater for the larger number of those vulnerable but viable farmers in our communities by increasing the number of FISIP and collapse even what we have put in the community development, so that we consolidate in one area and have an impact that we desire. I'm sure the Honorable Speaker seated there, people in Wangeni are so many, and there are so many that are left out in terms of farmer distribution. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sir, a couple of times I listened very attentively to the debate on agriculture from Honorable Kampyongo. On this particular one, I always differ with him in terms of the involvement of the members of parliament in being agro-dealers. The way the agro-dealership works, it's like now selling sugar. It's like saying MPs should not have shops to sell sugar. It's like MPs should not have shops to sell meal. No, to the contrary, Mr. Speaker. MPs are eminent in society, high integrity in society, and they would not cheat the farmers. MPs would not go asking for people to come to discount in their shop. Meaning, I've got this document, I go to Honorable Kampiongo's shop, I've got this money on my card, and then Honorable Kampiongo says, Mtolo, can you please just give me 20%, I'll give you the 80% cash. I don't expect that MPs would do that. And that is why we are encouraging MPs to do that. We have got agro dealers out there who are encouraging that. So we want people of eminence, people of integrity to be agro dealers. So I will continue, sir, asking MPs to be dealers. And it will cover this country very, very effectively. So on that one, Honorable Kampiongo, we'll continue differing, we'll continue debating, my dear brother-in-law, but I will continue telling you that on this one you are wrong. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the issue of FISIP, yes, let's look at it this way. We have 3 million farmers, small-scale farmers. 1 million are covered by FISIP, you are remaining with 2. Out of the 2, let's assume 1 can cover themselves, you remain with 1. How do we support this 1 million? It is not by increasing FISIP, it is by introducing a more workable and sustainable agricultural modality. And that modality should be a loan, where people pay back. FISIP, people don't pay back, Honorable Speaker. They just get. And every year it is between 400 and 500 million gone. Gone and gone. We want SAF, where people can pay back, so that this issue of agricultural subsidies become sustained. As it is an extremely, extremely difficult and unsustained position. So this FISIP is run, SAF is run by banks. There is some private money there. For once, we are attracting private money in the agricultural sector. We want to have banks specialized in loans to give affordable loans. That's the way to go, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
The Honourable Member for Wengwa.
Minister, thank you very much. Just recently, Minister, you were called by some other members. They used to call you Benevansala or Minister of Poverty or whatever. But this time around, Minister, I'm glad now to call you Minister of Agriculture at Bumper Harvest. Thank you very much, Minister. Yeah, Minister, on the issue of SAF loans, and we have seen a number of farmers, individuals getting multiple loans, Minister. SAF loan, getting CDF loans, and also CEC loans. Yeah, is there a mechanism, Minister, which you are going to put under your ministry, which will be monitor, a credit bureau, which will be monitoring people who are getting loans, so that we don't have duplication and we don't have people who will be getting loans all over without paying, so that we don't deny opportunity to others, those who have not acquired not even a single loan. Thank you very much.
Yeah. The Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to acknowledge the kind words from the Chairperson of Agriculture, Honourable Kasauta Michelo of Wengwa, for his kind words that from a period of very serious deficit, 1.5 million tons, we moved, despite the hardships that the farmers had, to close to 4 million tons. And now everybody is happy. Those small names I was called have disappeared quietly, and I'm grateful that your left, Mr. Speaker, is quiet on that one. That's the way it goes. We share the success. It was a combined effort. Now, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Michelo raises a point to say, what is the Credit Bureau doing? Because he has noticed that there are farmers who are getting SAF and are also getting CEC loans and others. I will definitely sit with the Credit Bureau and bring this to their attention. We cannot stop a person from getting a loan to buy a vehicle from a company. But we will stop those who would like to benefit from government resources from different angles. I think that clarity is important, because as a business person, Honorable Kasauta might owe this bank and that bank, but we will not allow one person to get from SAF, the same person wants to get on FISIP, the person wants to get from CEC, from small scale, and it goes to Madame Doreen for, no. So I hear you. I will ask the Credit Bureau to be firm on this one. I thank you, sir.
The Honorable Member for Kasenengo.
Mr. Speaker, this opportunity is well appreciated by the people of Kasenengo. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to say my sincere gratitude or thank you to the Honorable Member of Wengwa. I'm sorry to say, my elder brother, not to offend you, but for the first time he has asked a very good question. It is non-political and very progressive. And like it always goes whenever I'm dealing with the Minister of Agriculture, his responses make me abandon my original question. His good question and his good answer has made me abandon my question. Now, to make a follow-up, Honorable Minister, through you, Mr. Speaker, you have always made very good pronouncements on the floor of this House. From the time I came to this House, I can mimic all of them. Very good. They are not as, the implementation is not as eloquent as your presentation.
Honorable Member, you are not here to evaluate your friends. Yes, you can comment, but not to evaluate your friends.
I withdraw that one, Mr. Speaker.
We don't debate ourselves. Let's avoid on that path that you're trying to take, because people may respond, may react. So just ask your question, the Minister will respond.
I withdraw that one, Mr. Speaker. Maybe the problem, I'm too free with my uncle. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, I want to find out how effective you will implement the responses that you are giving now, considering that even last week when you were being asked about the problems that the small-scale farmers are having, there is no movement at all from your ministry. Even as late as yesterday, the farmers in Kasenengo are still having the same problems that you assured the House last week that you'd look into. The fact that the CEO from FRA was also in the House. So how comfortable should we to go and tell the people out there that the minister made this pronouncement and let us wait, very soon things will change? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for your protection, sir. The point that Honorable Philemon Twasa raises is that the sieves, the scales, and probably in some cases, the grain bags could still be not there, and therefore the huge numbers of farmers suffering on the lines of FRA are there. I want to make it clear, Mr. Speaker, we will do things as Minister of Agriculture, in this case as FRA, on behalf of the government and do them properly. I did indicate, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, if you go out anywhere where there is an FRA depot, you would see mountains of maize that have been brought by farmers. It is not possible for FRA to just accept this maize the way it is. Each and every bag is being opened and sieved. Each and every bag. I did indicate we have enough empty grain bags. We didn't have as many scales. Mr. Speaker, it has never happened where FRA has opened 1,600 satellite depots, and we are opening another 900 It has never happened, not even during the time of Nambod, that you can have more than 2,000 plus buying depots. That means more scales, more sieves, more personnel. So let us appreciate what that small institution is doing. Let's give it time. People delivered maize, Mr. Speaker, before the markets opened, and we are in the process of absorbing it. So it is helpful that the honorable members of parliament are going back to their constituencies, go to these depots and see what is happening. The uptake is so much. I would almost be saying, Mr. Speaker, we are almost there with the 500,000 tons. Now, how do you buy 500,000 tons in less than 3 weeks? There's been a lot of work that has gone in. So, I just wish to assure Honorable Twasa, whom, as he says, you are very free, I take no offense from him, sir, to come. Sometimes honorable members come and ask and talk to me instead of asking these questions here. Talk to me, I'm there in the office, and I'm here with you. Call me outside so that I can answer your questions, other than asking here very, very straightforward questions, which I can answer on a one-to-one. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kawata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, I'll take you back again to the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility. I'll just ask a similar question to what Honorable Michero has asked. But with me, I want to find out what modalities are you going to put up in place to ensure that the SAF facility will not be abused like the way we saw with the CDF loans. Already now, government has come up with a policy that they are discontinuing the issue of loans. So what modalities are you putting up in place to ensure that the SAF program is not going to be flooded by the people that obtained CDF loans, and at the end of the day, they also fail to pay the monies that are going to get at
the Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, sir. I will be very brief on that. Mr. Speaker, SAF is not being implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. SAF is being implemented by the banks, by the private sector, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, so that we can say, yes, we know Honorable Taengwa is a farmer. But if Honorable Taengwa doesn't pay, the bank will deal with you. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kalabo. I'm giving chance to the people that have asked these questions because of time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, you are saying that SAF is being implemented by the private sector through the banks. So the banks, then they are just collaborating with the government to ascertain the beneficiaries. Honorable Minister, are you sure that the beneficiaries of SAF are agriculture-oriented people? Are those beneficiaries, those 8,000 or it's 8,000 or 8,000 plus, are all those beneficiaries of SAF full-time agriculturists, either on crops or livestock? Are there no beneficiaries who are not agriculture-oriented? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, my answer would be yes. However, any system do get crooks permeating it. And if that be, if we get them, we will make sure that the rightful people deal with those people. So for me, the answer is yes. And that's why we have at least a few, there's been a little bit more emphasis on checking who these SAF beneficiaries are. And if the Honorable MP knows that in his area we gave someone who is not, please let me know so that we deal with them. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Mbabala. The last one will be Chipiri.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. As we continue on this very good trajectory, Honorable Minister, for the villagers out there in Mbabala, Mapanza area, they had challenges to access the SAF, whilst the civil servants seem to be, the agriculture extension officer seem to be favoring civil servants, because I think it's easier to manage records with those than with the ordinary villagers or farmers in the villages. What measures are you putting to ensure that ordinary people in Mapanza and Macha chiefdoms can access the SAF, who are not salaried like teachers and nurses, who the program mostly, who benefited from the program mostly? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Speaker. That question from Dr. Joseph Monsanje. Dr. Monsanje.
Fellow of the Lawyer of Commonwealth.
Honorable Speaker, yes, there are certain banks which are more inclined to want to deal with civil servants. I cannot refuse. There are banks that are inclined more to deal with civil servants than the ordinary farmer. Because as the Honorable Member says, it is easier to manage. If this persists and we see it affecting the entire operation, we will continue as we are doing it. We will call those particular banks which are specific on that and tell them that they could be, they need to change their modality. But we are monitoring that. Not all the banks. There's only one bank which is very specific. Their preference is someone with a payslip because of the ease of dealing with Zambians. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Chipiri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Minister, let me write down the question that was asked by Honorable MP for Tundumwesi on the pricing of fertilizer. You had answered, but I was thinking he had given the example of in energy sector where fuel is being bought at the same price. Munirunga, everywhere, the price is the same. Why can't you use the same methodology that they have used to ensure that the price of fertilizer in everywhere is the same price? Thank you, Madam, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, we have taken note of that guidance, and we will see if it can also be applied. However, as of now, the fertilizer pricing is by agro agents. We do not interfere. So what the price will be in Chama, what the price will be in Chipembi, what the price will be in Ndola is not now our responsibility. But we will monitor to see if what you are saying can happen. Fuel, I think there is a fund that was created to stabilize. We might look at it and see if it is necessary for us to do that with fertilizer. Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And may I also just say, I admire the jacket of my dear brother. If only you would ask him, Mr. Speaker, to turn around so that people really see how exquisite his dressing is. I thank you.
Maybe the Honorable Member for Chipiri can turn, we see the jacket.
Yeah. Turn around. Yes.
Thank you. I think I arrange one pair for the Minister of Agriculture. Notice of motion, the Honorable Member for Mwandi.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report on the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the Customs Convention on temporal admission laid on the table of the House on the 31st of July, 2025 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly.
Is the motion seconded?
Mr. Speaker, it is seconded by the people of Ron.
Seconded by the Honourable Member for Ron. The question is that this House adopts a report of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the International Customs Convention on temporary admission for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025. Any debate? The Honourable Member for Mwandi.
Mr. Speaker, the committee, in accordance with terms of reference set out in the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024, considered an International Customs Convention on the temporary admission. Mr. Speaker, I wish to state from the onset that the committee is in full support of the proposal to ratify the convention. This is because ratifying the convention will offer Zambians, businesses an opportunity to export goods temporarily out of the country without being subject to the customs duties and taxes by the importing country, provided they are re-exported within a specified period. Zambian businesses stand to benefit as they will not be subjected to payment of huge charges in form of taxes or deposits for goods that are meant for exhibitions, fairs, meetings, or similar events, particularly in markets with strong economies such as Japan, Hong Kong, and the United States of America. Mr. Speaker, the convention provides for simplified and harmonized procedures and standardized model customs documents for temporal importation of goods specified in the annexes to the convention. And Mr. Speaker, the committee was also informed by the Ministry of Finance and National Planning that these are already provided for in the Customs and Excise Act 322 of the laws of Zambia. Hence, implementation will be smooth and efficient for the benefit of the Zambian private sector businesses. Mr. Speaker, allow me at this point to highlight a few of the committee's observations and recommendations as contained in its report based on various concerns raised by stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes that although Article 15 of the convention safeguards Zambia's right to recover duties and address customs fraud, effective enforcement depends on Zambia's Revenue Authority, the post-clearance audit framework, which currently targets a limited range of temporal admissions. Mr. Speaker, the committee is of a view that this limitation may result in delayed guarantee claims being submitted to the National Guaranteeing Association, thereby affecting its liquidity and increasing its vulnerability to the abuse by Phoenix companies. Mr. Speaker, in this regard, the committee recommends that the Customs Audit Regulation of 2022 be amended to categorize CANE-related entries as mandatory for post-clearance audit review within 60 days of their entry. Further, 10% of all safeguard fees collected should be earmarked for strengthening post-clearance audit capacity. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes that Section 89 of the Customs and Excise Act, Chapter 322 of the laws of Zambia and the accompanying temporal import permit, TIP 0001, rules require a cash deposit or bond equal to the potential duty, whereas Articles 3 and 6 of the convention oblige customs to accept the CANE both as a document and a financial security. The committee is of the strong view that maintaining these agreements without harmonizing has the potential to confuse traders and invite forum shopping. It therefore recommends that the Customs Excise Act Chapter 322 of the laws of Zambia be amended by inserting a new part recognizing the 80-acre name as an alternative to temporal import permits for goods covered by the convention, and empower the Commissioner General to publish a notice in the Gazette listing ineligible goods and transitioning agreements for existing temporal import permit bonds. Mr. Speaker, allow me to conclude by urging the House to support the ratification of the Customs Convention on the temporal admission. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I wish to pay tribute to the stakeholders who interacted with the committee for the valuable insights provided. Gratitude also goes to you, Mr. Speaker, and the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly of Zambia for the guidance and support rendered to the committee throughout its deliberations. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Ron.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And in seconding the motion, Mr. Speaker, allow me to sincerely thank the chairperson of the committee in the manner that she has outlined the committee's observations and recommendations, and indeed in the manner that she has picked out the salient matters that came out from the interactions with various stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, as I second the motion, allow me to comment on a few issues that has not been touched by the mover of the motion. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes that duties recovered through the National Guaranteeing Association qualify as public revenue under the Public Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018. Mr. Speaker, the committee also observes that Article 6 of the Convention permits a time lag of up to 90 or up to 9 months between the occurrence of a breach and the final settlement of the guarantee. Mr. Speaker, the committee is of the view that this delay may pose challenges to physical planning and cash flow management for the Treasurer. Mr. Speaker, I also want to look at another observations of the committee, and in this regard, the committee, Mr. Speaker, urges the executive to issue regulations requiring the Zambia Revenue Authority to account for guarantee claims as accrued revenue in the fiscal year in which the breach occurs. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the Zambia Revenue Authority should submit quarterly reports on outstanding current claims to the Secretary to the Treasury. Mr. Speaker, the committee also observes that Article number 14 of the Convention allows Customs Union to be treated as a single canet. Temporarily, while SADC and COMESA have not yet attained full Customs Union status. Mr. Speaker, stakeholders anticipate that deeper regional integration could lead to an expanded circulation of the canet, potentially expressing or bypassing the need for further parliamentary approval. Mr. Speaker, in view of this, the committee recommends that a safeguard clause be included in the ratification bill to ensure that any regional notification under Article 14 is subject to prior approval by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, this measure will reserve and preserve the oversight functions mandated by Article number 63 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, with these few remarks, I beg to move and second the motion.
Any further debate? The Honourable Member for Kanyama.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I won't waste much of our time. I just want to talk on one important issue that has arose from this report. Mr. Speaker, there are concerns that ratification of this convention will have some conflict with the existing regulations that we have in the country. Madam Speaker, if you look at the TIP, a TIP facilitates the movement of goods from one country to the other, where some officers will feel that in the event we just let these goods come in the country, then some revenue will be somehow, lost. So these other officers are well trained. They understand and they investigate as to which item should come in without no duties being paid. The cane has been actually in use from time immemorial. I remember the time when I was in ZRI, we used to use canes together with the CIPs and all those documents. But the challenge that has been there is these rules have been abused, where people would want to come in and thereafter they just come and they sell those goods, then from there they claim the goods have been exported. So an employer of ZRA will assess whether to accept a TIP or to advise someone to go on a cane, depending on the circumstances that those goods are coming into the country. Otherwise, the conflict per se will not arise. The cane will be administered in the manner that is supposed to be administered. We know the cane, when it's brought, it will look at issues like we're having a show now, a fair. People will come in, at some time, they'll go back with their goods. But those that we intend to sell, then since ZRA's presence is in these shows, they'll be able to assess and see that, this person wants to sell these goods. Thereafter, they'll be asked to pay duties or any other taxes. Thereafter, another person to sell. Otherwise, I just wanted to just clarify on that one. Conflict won't be there, as I support this, ratification. Thank you so much.
Any further debate? I see none. The Minister of Tourism will respond.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my ministry, I wish to express my gratitude to the chairperson of the Committee for National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters, who also happens to be the mover of the motion currently under consideration. Mr. Speaker, we commend the chairperson of the committee for this report, which is on the floor of the House, which seems to have comprehensively outlined the background, the objectives and the key provisions of this particular agreement. And in the interest of time, Mr. Speaker, allow me to respond to a few matters raised in the committee, from the committee, and will focus our observations and recommendations presented to the report under consideration. The first one, Mr. Speaker, is the ratification of the agreement. This, in my view, and that of my ministry, is that the agreement is crucial to facilitate the temporary duty-free and tax-free temporary movement of goods across borders. This convention will enable traders, exhibitors, and professionals to move goods such as commercial samples, professional equipment, and goods for exhibition temporarily without the burden of customs duties, import taxes, and the complex administrative procedures. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the alignment with post-clearance, audit, and enforcement powers. Mr. Speaker, my ministry acknowledges the committee's observation that although the Article 15 of the Convention safeguards Zambia's right to recover duties and address customs fraud, effective enforcement depends on the Zambia Revenue Authority's post-clearance audit framework, which currently targets a limited range of temporary admissions. We take note of the recommendations to amend the Customs Regulation 2020 to categorize cane-related entries as mandatory for post-clearance audit reviews within 60 days of their entry. We also note the recommendations to issue a statutory instrument to reduce Article 7 claim window to 2 months. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, the interference with public finance and accounting statutes. Mr. Speaker, my ministry recognizes the committee's observation that duties recovered through the qualify as public revenue under the Public Finance Act number 1 of 2018. The Ministry also recognizes the Committee's observation that Article 6 of the Convention permits a time lag of up to 9 months between the occurrence of the breach and the final settlement of the guarantee. In pursuance of this agreement, my ministry, working with the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, will work to issue regulations providing for Zambia Revenue Authority to account for guarantee claims as accrued revenue in the fiscal year in which the breach occurs. Fourthly, the territorial and regional considerations. Mr. Speaker, my ministry acknowledges the committee's concern that Article 14 of the Convention allows customs unions to be treated as a single Kane territory. You may wish to note that while SADC and COMESA, which Zambia is a party to, have not yet attained full customs union status, stakeholders may anticipate some deeper regional integration which could lead to an expanded circulation of the Kane, potentially bypassing the need for further parliamentary approval. I wish, Mr. Speaker, to indicate to the House that a safeguard clause will be included in the ratification bill to ensure that any regional notification under Article 14 is subject to prior approval by the National Assembly. This measure will be in consonance with the constitutional mandate as espoused under Article 63 of the Constitution. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the conflict with Section 89, temporary import permits, TIPs. Mr. Speaker, my ministry acknowledges the committee's concern that Section 89 of the Customs and Excise Act, Chapter 322, and the accompanying temporary import permit rules require a cash deposit or bond equal to the potential duty, whereas Article 3 and 6 of the Convention oblige customs to accept any carnet itself as both documents and financial security. Mr. Speaker, we take note of this recommendation to amend the Customs and Excise Act, Chapter 322, to recognize the ATA carnet as an alternative to the temporary import permits for customs goods by the Convention. Mr. Speaker, my ministry considers this agreement as essential in facilitating international trade by making it easier for more efficient and more business to participate in global markets. We therefore welcome the agreement and commend the committee and the chair for a well-articulated and detailed report, and also to thank Honorable Chinkuri, Member of Parliament for Kanyama, for his insights in this particular matter. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Member for Mwandi wind up debate.
Thank you, Madam.
Static, Eric. I don't know. Static. Mr. Speaker, thank you so very much. Allow me to kindly thank the Vice Chair, who was the seconder of the motion. Allow me to thank Honorable Chinkuli, the MP for Kanyama, for the insight provided. And also to thank the Honorable Minister for the assurances in regards to the concerns that were raised by the committee. With that being said, Mr. Speaker, I submit. Thank you.
I put the question. The question is that this House adopts a report of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labor Matters on the ratification of the International Customs Convention on the temporary admission for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Next motion, the Honorable Member for Chasefo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025.
Is the motion seconded?
Mr. Speaker, the people of Mandevu would like to second the motion.
Seconded by the Honorable Member for Mandevu. The question is that this House adopts a report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025. Any debate? The Honourable Member for Chasefo.
Mr. Speaker, in line with its terms of reference, the committee considered the report of the Auditor General on the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and had occasion to interact with the accounting authorities and other relevant stakeholders on the subject matter. The interactions revealed various weaknesses in the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, let me hasten to remind this august House that while the committee observes various weaknesses in the utilization of the Constituency Development Fund, the enhanced Constituency Development Fund, which was exponentially increased from 1.6 million to 25.7 million, 28.3 million to 30.6 million, then 36.1 million in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025 respectively, has indeed positively impacted the lives of the common Zambians across the 156 constituencies. Mr. Speaker, this notwithstanding, it is sad to note that some of those entrusted to manage the Constituency Development Fund and those involved in the value chain of implementation have turned the fund into a cash cow, consequently resulting in misappropriation for personal benefits. In this regard, there is need for enhanced and pragmatic oversight on the implementation and utilization of the fund. Mr. Speaker, I'm confident that members have taken time to peruse the report. In this regard, allow me to highlight a few overarching issues that the committee observed during its interactions with the various local authorities. 1. Delayed completion of approved and fully funded projects. Mr. Speaker, the committee observes with concern that while the government has improved the disbursement of funds to the local authorities, a number of local authorities failed to implement capital projects within the stipulated timeframes. This was exacerbated by the abandonment of projects by contractors and termination of contracts. This resulted in rampant variations and escalation in project costs, hence denying the beneficiaries the much-needed development. The committee, therefore, urges the executive to ensure that local authorities enhance project planning and implementation. The local authorities should desist from engaging briefcase contractors who, after receiving an advancement or mobilization fee, abandoned projects. Another issue of major concern is that the withholding of funding at source for the construction of chiefs' palaces is hampering the implementation of the projects. In this regard, the committee recommends that funding for the construction of chiefs' palaces is fully decentralized. 2, Mr. Speaker, poor workmanship. Mr. Speaker, while some councils may be condemned for implementing projects on time, may be commended for implementing projects on time, the committee learned that some of the projects were poorly executed, rendering the investment wasteful. As a result, the buildings are not strong and durable. The committee recommends that the local authorities should improve their project monitoring and supervision to ensure that all construction works are as per the standard bill of quantities and designs. 3, poor management of secondary and skills development bursaries. Mr. Speaker, the impact of secondary school bursaries that have enabled every child to have an opportunity to go to school elated the committee and affirmed the saying that education is an equalizer. However, of great concern is the poor management of both secondary and schools bursaries. The committee was saddened to learn that some institutions were promptly formed to offer skills but lacked the requisite standards as per the Technical Education, Vocation and Entrepreneurship Training Authority Guidelines, TVETA. Consequently, these institutions were closed and the beneficiaries lost out, resulting in wasteful expenditure, and in some cases, some councils were in court to recover the skills bursaries which had been paid. The committee, therefore, urges the executive to strengthen and enhance supervision of mushrooming institutions which are merely established to take advantage of the bursaries without meeting the requisite standards. Four, administrative funds. Mr. Speaker, the committee also expresses concern at the rate at which councils are exhausting the administrative component of the CDF, which does not correspond to the number of monitoring activities they are conducting and quality of the projects being implemented. In view of this, the committee urges the accounting authorities to be prudent with the use of the administrative component of the CDF so that monitoring of projects is not affected. The committee remains confident that with the measures being put in place by the government on the administration of the fund, irregularities will drastically reduce. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by thanking you and the office of the clerk for the guidance and support you rendered to the committee during its deliberations. I further wish to thank all the stakeholders that appeared before it and the technical support rendered to it by the permanent witnesses. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to appreciate the members of the committee for their cooperation and dedication to commit work, which made my role as chairperson easy. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Mandevu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing the people of Mandevu to second this important motion. I wish to begin by thanking our chairperson, Honorable Mishek Nyambose, in the able manner in which he has highlighted the critical issues in the committee's report. I rise to support the adoption of this report, which highlights both the progress and critical challenges in the administration of Constituency Development Fund across the 116 local authorities in the country. CDF remains an instrument for grassroots development under the decentralization agenda. In seconding the motion, allow me to comment on a few committee's observations and recommendations which the chairperson has not touched on. Number one, unspent funds. During the year under review, over 3.4 billion remained unutilized by the end of 2023 across all local authorities. Major components affected included community projects, empowerment grants, and bursaries. Committee's recommendation: we recommend that local authorities must ensure that annual allocations are fully utilized within the financial year to prevent disruption of service delivery. The Office of the Auditor General must conduct midterm audits to track progress and avoid accumulation of unspent funds. Number two, poor project implementation. The committee observed rampant delays in completion of construction of classroom blocks, health posts, boreholes, and roadworks. Some completed projects were not commissioned, denying communities immediate benefits. We therefore recommend that councils might enhance planning, budgeting, and monitoring frameworks. Project timelines should be strictly adhered to, and officers failing to supervise projects must face disciplinary action. We also recommend that those discharged with the responsibility of commissioning projects must do so once projects have been completed. Number three, grant mismanagement. The committee observed numerous cases of empowerment grants being diverted to unsupported projects, unapproved projects without proper approvals. Some cooperatives lacked capacity or business plans, resulting in dormant or failed ventures. The committee therefore recommends that beneficiaries must not alter projects without written approval from the Constituency Development Fund committees. Financial literacy training and effective monitoring mechanism must be put in place before funds are dispersed. Number four, procurement and contracting irregularities. Delayed procurements, abandoned projects, and poor workmanship were observed due to weak contractor vetting. Some local authorities failed to charge liquidated damages for contractor delays. The committee recommends that councils must establish robust contractor selection and vetting processes. Liquidated damages must be enforced and repeat defaulters blacklisted. Project management must shift from being reactive to proactive supervision, Mr. Speaker. Number four, engineering capacity and staff retention. Mr. Speaker, the committee further observed during its engagement with various local authorities that engineers serving in local councils are remunerated significantly less than their counterparts in other government departments while performing the same function. This has led to high turnover of engineers within local authorities. We therefore recommend that the Emoluments Commission must address this matter with the urgency it deserves and ensure equitable compensation to improve staff retention and technical oversight in councils. Number five, weak culture and accountability.
The committee also found that poor work culture persists within local authorities. Some councils only began addressing long-standing issues upon hearing of the committee's impending visit, an indication of being reactive rather than being proactive. We therefore recommend that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development must institutionalize performance-based assessments for local authorities and strengthen internal audit systems to enforce accountability throughout the year. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, while the CDF has transformed lives, it is also evident from this report that accountability and capacity at local government level must be urgently addressed. I therefore call upon the Honourable House to adopt the report, and I urge the Executive to implement the Committee's recommendations in full. Let us protect the integrity of the CDF fund and deliver development that our people can trust, benefit, and see. Mr. Speaker, with these few remarks, I beg to second the motion. Thank you so much.
Any further debate? The Honourable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according the people of Chama North the opportunity to debate this very, very important report. And before that, I want to commend the mover of this motion, Honourable Nyambose, and also the seconder, the MP for Mandevu. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, CDF is a very, very important vehicle which is being used for us to deliver services to our people in various constituencies. And for us in Chama North, we want to appreciate the government. Every year CDF is increased. I think that way it will help us, especially the rural areas which have received the lopsided development since independence. Mr. Speaker, the committee has come up with observations and also recommendations, and it is hopeful that the executive will be able to act on these observations and the recommendations so that we can improve service delivery through the CDF. The committee has also highlighted challenges. I think the challenges such as insufficient maybe allocation. I think what has been happening is that the CDF committee will come up with certain amounts, and then the technocrats also come up with certain amounts. So you find that there is a tug of war between the CDF committees and the technocrats. But at the end of the day, you find that these projects are underfunded. Also, the committee has highlighted the issues of delayed completion of these projects. And if you go through the report, you find that most of the constituencies in this country are facing the same challenge. And I want to call upon the Ministry of Local Government and also the Local Government Commission that we need enough qualified manpower in these local authorities. Mr. Speaker, I'll give for example, if you look at certain districts which have only one constituency, you find that the utilization of CDF is much better than a district which has several constituencies. For example, Lusaka City Council has about 7, I think, constituencies. You'd find that it's very, very difficult for one local implementing agency, the local authority, to undertake projects in all the 7 constituencies. So there's need to increase manpower in these districts. We have constituencies like, for example, Mezi, Chembe, and Nakonde. It's one district and one constituency. While we have Chama, which has 2 constituencies, Chipata maybe has 3 constituencies. So those are the challenges. So we need adequate manpower to deal with these issues. Mr. Speaker, the issue of CDF, we want to call for increase CDF in the rural areas, especially in terms of infrastructure. I think we need more money for infrastructure development than our colleagues in urban areas. The people in urban areas, Mr. Speaker, possibly there is more money for skills development and loans looking at the population. For example, Mandevu is one of the biggest constituencies in this country. Now, if you are going to give the same amount of money to a constituency in a rural area which has very few people, I think we are being unfair. So for us, we need more money for infrastructure for the rural constituencies. The committee also has come up with the issue of their skills. I think we have some institutions of learning which want to report it not so. For us in Chama Youth, we have put our foot down and ensure that we are only sponsoring students going to credible institutions. I saw, like at one time, where one institution in Indora was gave up letters, acceptance letters, 300, just Chama Youth alone. So I was saying that surely if we can have one constituency sending 300, what about the whole country? You find that one institution is enrolling 2,000 students, but they don't have the space and facility. So I think the ministry must ensure that these institutions meet these necessary requirements. The loans we need the financial literacy. Because of this, most of these loans, people who get these loans are not put to good use. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the issue of disaster component. The disaster component under CDF is very little, it's mega. Looking at the magnitude of these disasters, I think there's a need to increase the component of disaster so that the constituencies will be able to deal with these issues without having many challenges. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the issue of commissioning of CDF projects. I think the members of Parliament must be trusted to commission these projects. You find that now we are saying that the minister must come and commission projects. For example, look at Eastern Province, who have got 22 constituencies. Can surely the minister manage to go and each and every constituency to go and commission? Because it's even very expensive. So I feel that the members of Parliament must be given the mandate to commission these projects so that as quickly as possible, these projects are handed over to the community. So with these few remarks, I support the adoption of this report. I thank you.
The Honourable Member for Chirubi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To start with, Mr. Speaker, we are trying to mop the leaking tap by the recommendations that have been given. And I think I want to appreciate your office that it distributed this 795 pages document on which the report is based. Mr. Speaker, CDF is a constitutional creation, and it's created in Article 162. Since it's a constitutional creation, Mr. Speaker, we have a problem with the approach of the CDF. Why do I say so, Mr. Speaker? And I think this is not pointing at anyone. As a nation, we do not appreciate that this is a creation of the law. One, we have agreed as a nation from Article 147 that we are going to have a municipality approach toward development. We have municipality approach. Yes. We have even positioned the councils in Article 152 to be in charge of the districts and all that. You would have debated. Yes. To be in charge of the districts and all that. Now, where we have a problem, Mr. Speaker, is this way. I do agree with the seconder who said we are reactive to the CDF. And I do agree with a lot of recommendations that the committee came up with, and I think I adopt them as mine. Why do I say so? If you look at the WDC, which is positioned to generate a project list in Section 5 of the repealed CDF Act, we do not pay attention to the WDC. How we do not pay attention to the WDC is that the Local Government Act number 2 of 2019 has given a composition in Section 6 of the Local Government Act. If you go down there, Mr. Speaker, you'll be visiting these, different constituencies. Ask how we comprise the WDCs. You find that workers of government are not even there. They are politically driven. And as a result, they don't fit into Section 36 of the Local Government Act. It starts from there. And it makes failure that when we look at the implementation, we have seen directives coming from the central government as far as presidential directives. That is forbidden by the Constitution in Article 152, Clause 2. It says national structures, provincial structures should not interfere or compromise the ability of the council to implement projects. But what happens? You will have presidential directives on desks, you will have presidential directives on ambulances, and all that. And when it comes to implementation, it defeats the creature of the law, which is the WDC. The WDC, even when they submit that what is supposed to go in the community, which is need-driven, is not upheld. Because when the CDF is sitting, CDF committee is sitting, it is supposed to consider the project list according to Section 5 of our own laws. But we do not follow that. Mr. Speaker, further, when you look at Section 3 of the CDF Repealed Act, it says the management of CDF, disbursement and utilization of CDF shall be made in accordance with the following: transparency, accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness. When we look at such, from the disbursement of these funds, sometimes they are released very late. When they come there, we have also the procurement system. We are subjected to, what do you call it, Mr. Nyambose, EPG. The EPG, EGP, whatever you call it. Yes, I knew that you would just be looking for small things. I deal with big things myself. Yes, so when you look at that, the EGP, you find that it's subjected to these people, and when it is scrutinizing, it leaves out the local contractors. Many of the local contractors can build schools, can build a lot of things. While we are seeing fly-by-night contractors, like for my districts, most of the contractors that have failed have come out of the district. Most of the contractors that have performed well are within the district, because they feel shy to put up a building that is not of standard, which they also have to benefit from. But the EGP, whatever it is called, has destroyed the approach to procurement. And that is frustrating CDF. If you don't want to listen, that's your problem. I'm giving you consultants for free. Now, I want also to dance around the micromanaging. The micromanaging, Mr. Speaker, as you have said, your chair has ruled before about how members of parliament are supposed to get involved. Me, I've faced situations, Mr. Speaker, where I'm in the constituency for 15 days waiting for me to be part of the commissioning of projects. The day I leave, that is when we are going to have a PS coming from Kasama and the DC organized to commission the projects. And that is misnomer. That should be discouraged. We cannot have such a situation where we are fearing when members of parliament. When CDF, when it was created in 1995, was created as a project that an MP can monitor directly. And then tomorrow you are going to say, where the opposition's MPs are, these projects have been frustrated. When the PS connives with the DC to eliminate the MP in an area. So, when we are looking at some of these factors, the micromanaging, even when we look at this CDF Appealed Act of 2024, number 1 of 2024, it has taken away the provincial committee, but it has left the responsibility with the local government officer at provincial level. But you find that the PS still has heavy hand on the CDF. The deputy PS still has heavy hand on the CDF. That is micromanaging. Then there are also these factors that come from presidential directive. That is micromanaging. And micromanaging is killing your flag carrier, in case you don't realize. It's killing your flag carrier. Because instructions are coming from top. And the trickle-down effect is killing everything. When you reach there at the root, the people are powerless. They can't implement anything. It's not need-driven. If you allowed the communities to choose their own projects, by now you would have been smiling that side. But because you want to, there's a lot of mistrust involved.
Order, the Honorable Member. It's good to hear Honorable Member for Chirui debate. I always say that I also have a constituency. In my constituency, the projects we implement are community-driven. The WDCs, through the people, they pick up projects, submit to the council. We convene a meeting. The council convenes a meeting. I attend. Projects are picked, bearing in mind the money is available. So his case is different. The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development to respond.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much, and I would like to thank the committee for coming up with this very good report, and also the debaters for the insight that they have brought out. Mr. Speaker, if in Chirubi is different, Honorable Member for Chirubi, if in Chirubi is different that projects are not being done under bottom approach, please, I'm available. Let's talk. Projects to be identified by the locals themselves, not any other person under CDF. The Minister of Local Government, Mr. Speaker, would like to thank the Office of the Auditor General for the work it did to audit the 116 local authorities on the utilization of Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. I also want to thank the Committee on Local Government Accounts, which interface with all the local authorities to try and appreciate the issues raised in the Auditor General's report on the implementation of CDF program. Mr. Speaker, the committee raised a number of issues in its final report which are key to overall management of CDF programs and has made appropriate recommendations to improve the management of this very program. In order to ensure that local authorities are held accountable, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has put in place the following measures, among others. On the poor management of projects, Mr. Speaker, I wish to indicate to this August House that the Ministry is promoting professional development through the Local Government Service Commission to improve the skills of local authority staff, ensuring that they meet the demands not only for the management of CDF programs, but service delivery as a whole. On the poor work culture, Mr. Speaker, I wish to indicate that the Local Government Service Commission, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, has put all principal officers in the local authorities on a performance contract, which are reviewed on an annual basis. This measure led to some poorly performing principal officers to be demoted, and measures are being put in place to ensure that performance contracts are further cascaded down to the entire management in local authorities. Low uptake on community and empowerment grants. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development has since developed communication strategy with the local authorities that are implementing to to engage communities on implementing of the CDF program. The communication strategy provides for enhanced communication around the CDF program using several communication channels, among them community radio stations, to reach out to communities. The implementation of the strategy by individual local authorities being monitored by the ministry, and so far the indication that we are heading in the right direction in making communities become more knowledgeable about the CDF program. On the poor loan management, Mr. Speaker, I wish to indicate that the ministry is considering engaging the financial lending institutions such as banks and also CEC to leverage on their expertise and enhance not only loan disbursement efficiency but also to improve oversight and potentially increase repayment rates. Mr. Speaker, in addition, the measures highlighted above, I wish to also indicate to this August House that the ministry, working with the Local Government Service Commission, has enhanced oversight mechanisms by strengthening the internal audit functions within local authorities to ensure regular checks, not only on CDF, but generally on the projects and the budgets executed and prevent misallocation of funds. Mr. Speaker, during the debate of this report, I take cognizance of the fact that members of Parliament have also made a very good recommendation on how we can enhance and improve the management of CDF programs. The Ministry will pick up these good recommendations and continue to improve the management of CDF. Mr. Speaker, let me once again indicate that the Ministry will continue to strengthen oversight mechanisms on local authorities to ensure that the expanded CDF program is implemented to the benefit of the people of Zambia. I want to thank the committee for the valuable guidance it provided to the local authorities as well as the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development during its interaction on the report of Auditor General's report on the Constituency Development Fund for the year ended 31st December 2023. The Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, working with the Local Government Service Commission and other key stakeholders, to ensure that all the committee recommendations are fully implemented. Mr. Speaker, you may be aware that your honorable members are the ones that push for the disbursement of CDF. My request to the honorable members is that wherever they see a challenge, let us not wait for the Auditor General to go and do the audits. Let us just immediately raise a flag so that my ministry moves in to correct an error. These are the resources that can change the betterment of especially local rural constituencies. So we shouldn't just leave it to the Auditor General. We are the ones mandated making sure that these resources are utilized to the fullest and utilized for the public good. For those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank you and thank the members that debated and also the committee members. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. May the Honorable Member for Chasefu wind up debate.
Thank you very much once again, Mr. Speaker. In winding up, I want to thank the Vice Chairperson of the committee for seconding this motion. I want also to thank Honorable Member for Chama South, Honorable Mtacharo, and also want to thank Honorable Member for Chirubi, Honorable Fube. Mr. Speaker, we have to take time, you and me, to educate him. It's EGP, not EPG. I've tried, but it's a problem. It's a problem. It's EGP, Electronic Government Platform. You have time with me, I will help you. I don't know who bewitched my cousin. Mr. Speaker, that was on a lighter note. I want also to appreciate the Minister of Local Government and Housing and Rural Development. Honorable Minister, I want to appreciate you particularly
for the visitation that the minister is doing. Since he took over office, he doesn't just visit the urbanized areas. If you follow him, he goes to the most rural constituencies to check. That has helped the councils to pull up their socks. That is what he's doing, that minister. He's doing very well. And also I want to thank you, Minister, for the delayed completion of projects, the circular that you did to ensure that projects are commissioned within 60 days. That is unprecedented, and I want to thank you for that. What you are doing will see enhancement in the implementation of CDF, and indeed CDF is a game changer, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move.
I put the question. The question is that this House adopts the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts, on the report of the Auditor General, on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st July 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that lunch has been graciously provided for, courtesy of the Right Honorable Madam Speaker. I further wish to inform the House that lunch will be served immediately after adjournment at 13 hours. Honorable members of Parliament will be served in the restaurant here at Parliament Buildings, while lunch for ministry officials and staff will be served at the members' Montel. In this regard, transport for ministry officials and staff to the members' Montel has been provided and will be available at the entrance to the library buildings at 13 hours. I thank you. At this, I want to thank you, honorable members. The acting leader of government business, adjournment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate, any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned sine die.
Well, thank you so much for being with us on Parliament Television. This is where we end today's live parliamentary proceedings, which started at 09 hours. You heard from the Second Deputy Speaker. The House has adjourned sine die. But before we leave, a recap of what has been considered on the floor of the House when business resumed at 09 hours.
Madam Speaker made one announcement. She did recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Chilenje Adventist School in Lusaka District, and Madam Speaker did welcome the visitors to the National Assembly of Zambia.
And after that announcement, the House did proceed to consider questions for oral answer under Standing Order 82, and also witness a grouped questions for oral answer under Standing Order 83. And there were two reports, and the first report came from Ms. Siveso Sefulo, Mwandi Member of Parliament, who is chairperson of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters, urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters on the ratification of the International Economy Labour Matters on the ratification of the International Customs Convention on temporary admission for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, and this motion was seconded by the Vice Chairperson of the committee, and this is Mr. Joe Chibuye, who's Ron Member of Parliament. And when the question was put, the motion was adopted.
Mr. Mishek Nyambose, Chasef Member of Parliament, did move a motion where he was urging the House to adopt the report over the Committee on Local Government Accounts, on the report over the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended at the 1st of December 2023 for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 31st of July 2025. And this motion was seconded by the committee chairperson, Mr. Christopher Shakafuswa, who is also a Mandevu Member of Parliament. The question was put and the motion was adopted.
We do have question 397, which came from Mr. Stephen Kampyongo. Shwangandu, Member of Parliament, directed the question to the Republican Vice President, and in this case, it was the acting leader of government, Honorable Ambrose Luigi Lufuma, who responded to this question. And Mr. Kampyongo wanted to find out why the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has contracted Action Global Trading Limited, a foreign-based company, to undertake the biometric identification enrollment program for the registration of voters ahead of the 2026 general elections. And in the minister's response, they said that ECZ has not entered into any contract with Action Global Trading Limited, which is a foreign-based company, to undertake the biometric identification enrollment program for the registration of voters ahead of next year's general elections. Other responses, Joe, in the same question?
And in answering part B of the question, which was the specific objective of the project, the minister did say that one of the objectives included to conduct mass mobile voter registration in 2025 to prepare for the general elections in 2026.
And the other part of the question, the member wanted to find out whether ECZ engaged in consultations with relevant stakeholders prior to contracting the new service provider. The minister did say that ECZ did follow the Procurement Act, which is guided by the Procurement Act and the laws of Zambia. And the other part wanted to know how the proposed system differs from the existing digital voter registration system previously used by ECZ. The minister said that it is part of the digital system that ECZ has been using in the past.
And in answering part D, which was whether the ECZ engaged in consultations with relevant stakeholders prior to contracting the new service provider, the minister did say that the Electoral Commission of Zambia procurement processes are strictly adhered to.
And he further said that this system is estimated to capture 3.5 million voters that are eligible, and that will be added to the current voters register. And what the estimated time frame for the project is, the minister's response was that by October 2025. So basically, that was the response that came from the acting leader of government business, who is Honorable Ambrose Luigi Lufuma, responding to Shwangandu Member of Parliament, Mr. Stephen Kampyongo. And there were grouped questions, and we had 4 members of Parliament that posed questions to the Minister of Agriculture, and the Minister responded accordingly. Joe, basically this is where we end today's transmission. It's been a busy period, should I say busy meeting from the time business of the House resumed.
Yes, indeed, President, and I think members of Parliament have to go and visit their constituencies, and also just to take time to rest.
What we can urge you is to stick around and make sure that you follow through Parliament television, because we'll have the rebroadcasting of all the business that have taken place during this meeting. Remember, we've had committee meetings that have been sitting, and you've witnessed some of the reports that have been read on the floor of the House. And today we had one from National Economy and Trade and Labour Matters, and also had from local government accounts. issues to do with CDF. So those, we can guarantee you that we'll have rebroadcast of those meetings. On behalf of Joa Katama, and not forgetting Chola Kauma and Jason Man and the entire production crew, we've had Stan Piri as our director, Smart Lungu, our camera person, Emmanuel, and not forgetting Vanji Kobe on the camera as well. David Mulenga was saying thank you so much, not forgetting Monica on graphics. God bless and thank you so much for your time, and I'd like to urge you to stick around on Parliament Television.